Hello, this is Craig from Bitzbox.co.uk. This video is something slightly different to what we've done before. This is sort of a behind the scenes look, I suppose. I'm going to show you the process we go through to turn a box. The example I'm using is the Primaris Aggressors, or the Primaris Space Marines. We go from this into how we actually get them up on the site and sorted out, etc. So in this video, for example, I'm going to show you the process behind how we sort of take photos for them, get them up on the website, and where we put them in storage and stuff like that. So it's like a sort of behind the scenes look at the process. Maybe it just interests some of you, I don't know. But I thought it's something I could video log, as I'm going to be spending most of the day doing it. I did the Reavers yesterday. It took me about 6 hours. But there was a few more boxes of them and they had a lot of bits. So this is still going to take me most of the day, if not longer. But let's just crack into it. Okay, so I apologise for any weird camera angle that's going on here. But first thing we do is obviously we need to open the box. So we'll take one box. Normally I will buy... If there's an army I collect, such as Space Marines, I will buy a box for myself. So this is actually my box, but I will use that to take the pictures of the miniatures, and then the other boxes that I've purchased, which we'll see later on, they'll be the ones that will go up for sale. First thing to do is obviously get the sprues out. So there's only 2 sprues for this one, which is good. We've got bases. The bases just go in a box and they get sorted out at a later date. We actually have a new type of transfer sheet, which is really cool. So that'll be up for sale on the site at some point. So we have our 2 sprues. Next thing we need to do is get our instruction book and basically use that to sort out what goes what. So with these, for example, a lot of stuff might need to be sold together. So I'll group stuff what goes together. Any individual pieces that are just sold singly, they'll go in this drawer. And then all the other stuff will be sort of lined up where they go. So now it's up to me to sort of decide how I want to sell these. The bodies and legs certainly will go together. It looks like the heads may fit in there, but I still might sell them separately. So this is a really, really fun part. Probably not so fun on video. Don't worry, you won't watch the whole process because that would just be super boring and super long. But so for example, we have one for there, so I'll cut them out. They haven't got to be particularly neat, obviously we don't want to cut into the actual bit. So that's like the body, and these are the legs, what will go with the body. So I'd quite like to sell the backpack separately, maybe on its own, so if it's a single piece, then it can go in the drawer, ready for photographs. So I'm going to go through the rest of this set, and then when I'll be back, it should all be lined up quite nicely on the desk. Okay, so here are the pieces that have been grouped together. So we have the 3 bodies. There's a Boltstorm Gauntlet and then the Flamestorm. I think they're Flamestorm Gauntlets. But anyway, they're like the Flamer pieces. We have like some little spent shells what are going together as well. So I haven't got all the different types of the arms. They're very similar. So in some cases when things are quite similar, we'll just sell them as a random set. And people can specify which ones they want, but in terms of like taking pictures and sorting them all out at this stage, it's a lot easier for us just to do it like this. As you can see on the box, like the position of the arms isn't that different on all of them really, so they're all very similar. So when we get cases like that, we tend to sell as random. And the same with the backpack, because every backpack is exactly the same, so we only need to cut off one of them. There's quite a few heads. I think there's about 8 different head variants in this set, which is really cool. There's shoulder pads and purity seals and all sorts in there. So obviously any bits that have duplicates, they don't need to be cut up at this stage. So there's a few shoulder pads are quite similar. These are all there's basically 3 of each type. So there's 3 of that type, 3 of that type, 3 of that, etc. There's a couple of them as well. These are the other sort of bolt storm gauntlets and stuff on the sprues. So yeah, not all of them are like this. Obviously, a lot of infantry sets we actually cut off most of the stuff. With the Reavers, you get 2 of each sprue, so we only obviously had to cut off stuff from each sprue, from 2 of the 4 sprues. Anyway, I'm babbling. I'll show you the next step. So the next step is to photograph all these. So this is the step where you might expect a really fancy setup, you know, light box, tripod, expensive camera, etc. There would usually be a tripod, but I'm using it to film with this camera. Essentially, we just use a piece of plastic card. This plastic card's not even that clean. However, the lights just don't really pick up all the little paint stains and stuff. Yeah, we don't have like a load of expensive lamps or anything. What we do have is this camera. So this is a Nikon D33 3300 3300, whatever. It's a good camera. It's not the cheapest nor the most expensive camera in the world, but really good. We did actually use a really cheap camera before this, that really old one. What I've got on the end is like a light attachment, so I'll first switch that on. That's all you need for taking pictures of bits really. This ring of light will just eliminate the shadows from around the bits. So I'm going to take some photos. So essentially I'll put the bits on there, we'll take photos like that. You can see how that illuminates the surface quite nicely. So I'll try and do one on camera for you, and then I'll take the rest off camera using the tripod. So essentially I'll put them like that. We try and get them into a square. So take them about sort of this distance usually. So yeah, just going to fiddle around with the settings just ever so slightly. That's quite a good one. So if I get that up on the screen, it's probably going to look quite bright if the camera even picks it up. But we take them like this because then we get a pure white background, and when it comes to editing the photos, the bits will obviously look a lot darker on the screen, and that'll look quite nice. So yeah, I'm going to go and take photos of all of these bits, and then we'll be back for the editing process. Okay, so I've loaded my SD card into my computer, and I have put the images into a folder called Gressels, which makes sense. They just go straight on the desktop in a folder, and then I'll move them into a Bitzbox folder once they are complete. So they don't look much at the moment. So I've opened up a few images into Adobe Fireworks. So that's what I look like Fireworks. Again, still look quite bright, so they do need editing. It's quite difficult for me to edit and hold the camera at the same time. And essentially I basically crop them to size, and then I have a command up here called Product 1000. Basically just does the editing, change the levels and brightness, contrast, etc. And saturation to how we want them. Because the background is pure white, there's no need to edit around them. So we'll be back once I've just ran that on this image. And then here is the image. So it's far from perfect, I know, but this is sort of like a minimum standard that we like to have on the site. As you can see, there's a watermark on there as well. Now I just add that to the clipboard, and then the command will automatically paste that on. So I have to go and do this to every image now, and then once I've done that, I'll be back. And as if by magic, these are now all edited. So as you can see, they still have really crappy file names, so the next job for me is to give them all relevant file names. So I will do that now, and I'll be back. And here they are with their names. So quite quite self-explanatory names. I'm always trying to keep them as accurate as possible. Just helps with Google image search and stuff like that. Makes it easier for them to come up. So next thing we have to do is do what's known as a batch conversion. So these are all 1000 by 800, but we want to create thumbnail size images as well. So I'll try and do this on camera because it's quite straightforward really. We just go through Fireworks and we go on batch process and we go into the folders. This is a reverse folder, so we go on desktop and we add all of them. We go next. We then scale them down. So the thumbnail size is 200 by 160. I almost forgot. There we go, next. So we want to have backups. It's important that we have backups because we want to keep the large images backed up as well. So we batch that up. So essentially it makes all the images we had the thumbnail size, and it puts the original ones in a separate folder. And then with the original ones, we batch convert them, and then we give them the suffix underscore large. And then we don't need backups for them, and we can put them into a custom location, which is the aggressors, of course. So we batch them, and then as if by magic, we have two of every image, so a large one and a small one. So this is important because when the page loads up, it will show all the small images, and then when you click on the actual product page, you'll get the large image. So for example, that's a small little image, and then we can, for some reason it doesn't want to go to the next image, but then we'll go to the larger image. So that's the larger image. So the next thing for us to do is to upload these onto the website. So I've gone in that admin section and I've gone up to the aggressors category. So up here, there are our categories up here. And I've created one for aggressors. So we then go on to new product. And then essentially, I've got a manufacturer thing here that basically just has all the armies in. So we can put in the product's name, and we can stick in the tax for class, which is a VAT. So we put the name in, the price, description. Down here we put in the model number, quantity, which will obviously be 0 at this stage, and then we can add the image as well. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these in, and then we'll show you what it looks like on the web page. So all that information has been filled in now. We have Primaris, Space Marines, Aggressors, Accessory A. So this is one of the accessory pieces that goes on the front of their torso. We have the price, so that's just like 30p. Only little pieces. This is an accessory from the Warhammer 40,000 Primaris Space Marines Aggressors plastic box set by Games Workshop. The reason I put all that in sort of acts as like keywords, helps with search and stuff. And it just makes the description just look a bit more full. Down here, quantity is 0 for now, until we actually cut up the rest and put them on the site. And then the model number, we have PM for just like Primaris Marines, hyphen AGD for aggressors. Now, in most armies, the model number will normally just be like 2 or 3 letters for their army and then numbers, but as it comes to Space Marines, I always just have separate model numbers for each box. And as you can see underneath, we have images. We have the main image, which is the thumbnail, and then the large image, which is obviously the larger image. So then I can go down the bottom corner and just click save, and that's added the first product to this category. So I have to now go through and add all the other categories. And before I do that, I can just go on our website and then go down to Primaris Marines, and go to the aggressors page, and you can see that that product has been added to the page. So I'll be back once I've added all the others. And here are all the products, and then on their product page they're all here. So now I have a thing on the admin where I can go through all my categories. So it's got all the way down to the aggressors. And this just lets me quickly and easily just fill in the model number box. So for example, we can go 01, 02. I'm sorry if the camera's floating about all over the place. I'm holding it left-handed for a lot of this. So etc. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can go all the way down to that. We also have an ID, and this is very important for the next step. So I'll get these model numbers in, and then I'll show you the importance of the ID. So all the model numbers are in now, so there's 28 in total. So next, I did have it open. We now make a notepad document, and in it this is where we set the SQL queries which will restock each box. So this is where the ID comes in. So the first product has the ID of 8051, and as you can see in this I've done the line update products update products underscore quantity equals products underscore quantity plus 1, where products ID equals 8051, and essentially when I run that in the SQL, that'll tell me that the product ID 8051 needs 1 added to it. So I then have to basically do this for every single product in this set, and any what needs different quantities. So for example, there's like 3 of each shoulder pad, basic shoulder pad, so they'd have a 3 instead of 1. So I'll do that, and then I'll show you what that looks like. And here we have the finished SQL for the Primaris aggressors. So every set that you see on our website has this this type of SQL query. This is why we tend to just buy like 100% complete boxes, because say we're restocked on 3 tactical squads, for example, we can just run 3 of these SQL queries for the tactical squad, and that's just all restocked correctly. If there is any errors on one of these, that's when you can really cause problems, so I always double check to make sure everything is correct. So I've already logged into our admin. It's PHP my admin, as you can see, and we essentially just paste it. I'll control V. So I paste it 3 times because we've got 3 boxes of these to go on today. 1, 2, 3. We run that query. I'm sorry, I'm just holding the camera to film all this. Is a bit annoying, but. And then we go back onto our admin. We go back to the aggressors, and you can see there's now quantities in stock. And we click this checkbox at the bottom and click update, and then all of a sudden they are in stock. And if we go on the aggressors page and refresh it, they are now available for sale. Usually this step would be last. When we restock stuff normally, we cut them all up, put them away, and then we'll run the SQL queries at the end of the day. When it comes to putting new stuff up, I normally do it in this order. Then it just means that I've really got to get my skates on and make sure it's on the site and ready for the next day. And I've still got a couple of hours today, so we'll do the next step. So the next step is actually to print out some labels to go on the storage for where these are going to go. And that's done on a Microsoft Word template. Now these are the labels that I printed out yesterday for the Reavers. So we have to obviously delete all the product codes from them. The lines, sort of the coloured lines either side, I'm going to need to keep them. So sometimes they decide to disappear, sometimes they don't. Like for example, like if I go a few at a time, they don't seem to disappear. So these, okay, I'll just go over them. So yeah, these coloured blocks either side, they're just so I can colour coordinate where everything's kept, because obviously we have a lot of stuff. So it makes life a lot easier to find them if they're colour coordinated. So the left hand side is normally the colour for the army, so Space Marines are a sort of bluey colour, and they come a bit darker from the printer, so it's more of a dark blue. The Reavers are red. I'm going to choose a nice green for the aggressors. Now we won't even need 2 columns here. So I'm just going to put in all the codes for the aggressors. And here are the labels ready to be printed. So in case you're wondering why there's like 3 products to 1 and 1 product on the other, or 2, essentially it's the size of a product. So with smaller products we can normally get 3 in the little drawers they're stored in, so we can have 3 codes on 1. So 1, 2 and 3 can go together because they're just for little accessory pieces, etc. And you can see like body A, body P, and I haven't put C up next to body C, body C, they can all have their own thing each. I'm going to C. Wow, it's really hard doing stuff whilst holding the camera, but yeah. And then there's like some repeated here, so the different types of Flamestorm gauntlets can go in their own one, so they don't get muddled up. So yeah, the next thing for me to do is to print them. So down here we have our big old Lexmark printer. Let's print a label sheet, and hopefully, ta-da, we have some nice little labels to go on the drawers. So let's bring out the drawers, and I'll show you just how the labels go on, I suppose. So just an example, I've just put them 3 of the drawers on my desk, so you can see they've got the labels there, and I've even just put the bits that we took photos of for them. So you've got little accessories, backpacks, and then the bear heads. So yeah, I'm going to go label up all the other drawers, and then I'll show you them in all their glory, I suppose. And here they are in the cabinet. So as you can see up above them we have the Reavers, and then these are the aggressors. The 2 at the bottom are just old. These are just old empty drawers. There's old labels. So yeah, there they are, and I've put the bits in. Probably took photos of, just to show you what they'd look like inside. Obviously we'd have other bodies in there, and if we got more body bees and that, we can have other drawers and stuff. I sometimes keep some of the bigger drawers for overflow as well, if these get really full of something that don't sell. See, the other bits are in there. Obviously there'll be more once I cut up the other boxes. So that is how we take a box of, well, anything, of miniatures, and get them photographed and added to the site, etc., and stored away. So yeah, I hope this video has just been interesting for some of you guys. I thought it was a little thing to do when we show you sort of behind the scenes, so to speak. Now if you have any questions, please do feel free to leave a comment below, or if there's anything else you'd like to see sort of behind the scenes, then definitely we are always open to suggestions. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, of course you can give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to the channel. We have reached 5,000 subscribers now, so we're going to have a giveaway very soon. I think this video will go up before the giveaway video, so look out for that, and I will see you guys in the next video.